on the best of the Morning X. Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. 99X.
A wild story read about last week that happened out in Cobb County. Let's bring up Jeff Salyers.
Hey, Jeff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jeff, you're not related to Emily from the Indigo Girls, are you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, the name's spelled differently.
Now, what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a locksmith.
And you want to plug your company?
It's High Tech Lock and Safe, and we're in Marietta.
All right, so why don't you tell us what happened?
Yeah, I'm sure you've told the story 100 times. Dish it out.
Kind of got it memorized.
Oh, yeah.
Great story.
Well, I got a call from Bill Witcher at Cobb Hardware here in Marietta, and he had a guy standing there with a little safe that he needed opened.
Uh-huh.
When you say little, you mean like the size of a...
Yeah, about the length of your arm in square.
Okay.
Okay.
Small enough, obviously, that he could carry it into the hardware store.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So when the safe was described to me, I was asked if I could open it for like $25. And at the time, I was really, really busy, and I told him that, you know, I would have to get his number and call him when I could meet him to open the safe.
Now, do you normally have the ability to pick a safe lock?
Not really. It's not like on the movies where you can put a stethoscope to it and
Yeah.
kind of open it that way. But
And you hear the clicks.
Right. How would you normally open up a safe if you didn't know the combination?
well, with a drill bit about the size of your pinky, you could drill a hole in it and line up the wheels. Several ways you can go about it, but usually you have to break out the drill.
Okay.
So you told him you were busy, and then what happened?
Well, he gave me his pager number and told me his name. Well, several days after that, I was laying in the bed at night, and a little voice in my head said, "Go check your grandmother's house," where I had some stuff stored. No one was living there. So I went by the next day and checked. The safe kept going through my mind that I had stored over there. So
She had passed away and you had stuff at the house?
right, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I went in the house and looked specifically for the safe and did not find it.
Wait a minute. You just, on a hunch, in the middle of the night, went to your grandmother's house because a little voice told you to, and sure enough, when you showed up there, the safe was gone.
That is exactly right.
Okay.
Those things happen.
Okay.
So then what?
So I got the police involved. The Marietta Police Department was involved, and they come out and made a police report. The detectives came straight over, and this little voice inside my mind was telling me this safe that this guy took up to Cobb Hardware was my safe. It just
Hey,
there was no
That's a
doubt
smart
about
little
it.
voice in there.
I'll tell you, could we talk to that little voice? Could you put that little voice on? We want to talk.
I listen to it constantly every day, and I think it's the good Lord above.
I listen to my little voice, too, and it's gotten me in more trouble.
There's several little voices floating out there. You just got to kind of pick the right one to listen to.
Okay, so...
We obviously
So
don't.
then what
So
happened?
you call the police, you call the Cobb County Police.
And they came out. The Marietta City Police Department came out, and the detectives came on out. And I told them, I said, I have this guy here who's wanting me to open this safe, and I believe it's mine. So at the time, I was looking through my work van because I'm a mobile service, and it's my office, and I could not find this guy's telephone number. So another little voice in my mind told me,
The voice.
check around some other lock shops around town and see if he might have gone in there to see if they could open it. So I went in Halford Brothers, which is here in Marietta, and I talked to Joe, and he told me the guy came in this morning wanting me to open this safe, but he wanted it done for a little amount of money. So he took his number, and Joe gave me the telephone number. I paged the guy. A detective rides with me, posing as my partner, and
Undercover.
undercover.
Wow, I like
this
that.
was I was a detective for a day.
Love it.
All right, you pull up at the guy's house.
Well, he's actually living in a van in the Kmart parking lot right across from the Big Chicken.
Oh, that's
What?
how I started when I first moved here. That's exactly what I was doing.
Lovely digs.
The guy was living in a van in the Kmart.
Yes, he
across from
was.
the Big Chicken.
He was just parked out in the back or front or what?
Well, he was tying into the power there at the Checkers, so
Tying
he had
into-
a little heater, a TV, and was right at home.
He was tying into the power at the Checkers?
Yes, he was.
Did how did you call him? Did he have a cell phone?
No, he actually had a pager.
Oh, a pager.
How he paid that bill, I have no idea.
And then when he told you where you lived, I live at Kmart.
Well, we met him at the Crystal, a couple of blocks away, and he kind of rode with us, which the undercover officer was reluctant on that happening, but he did ride with us, And we pulled up, and, of course, the undercover officer had his radio up under the seat.
Ooh.
So I kind of parked a couple of spaces away from this guy's van so that the officer could radio the other units. And me and the guy got out. And
Did the guy look shady when you first saw him?
Not really.
Not any more shady than any guy living in a van in a
At
Kmart
Kmart.
parking lot tying into the Checkers power supply.
Exactly. So me and the guy get out, and we go over to his van.
Were you a little nervous being alone with him?
I was very nervous. I was very nervous.
Was it an RV or was it just like a panel van?
No, it was actually like a custom-type van.
Okay.
With the carpet hanging down?
Yeah, sure enough.
Gotcha.
So he walks out with the safe, and I open the back door to my van, and he sets it down, and I nod to the officer, and at that time the officer, throws him against the van. This is Merida Police Department. You're under arrest.
You nod in acknowledgement that is your grandmother's safe.
Exactly.
What'd the guy say when he threw him against the car?
Well, he was like, "What's going on?" And at that split instant, I turned the dial and dialed the combination and opened the safe.
And there you
This
go.
guy did not know exactly what to think. So right there on the top was my whitewater season pass with my picture on it.
Which is always needs to be in a safe.
Yeah, you want to put that whitewater season pass under
People are
lock and
killing
key.
people to get in that place.
He
That's
definitely
amazing.
was amazed, and of course I was too. This just the way it happened was just so unbelievable.
What an amazing... I mean, the guy is called to pick a lock on a safe that turns out to be the one that was stolen from him in the first
Exactly.
place.
You need to be on one of those episodes of Crime Stories.
So what did he say? The guy just...
The world's stupidest crooks.
Yeah.
Did the guy say anything at that point when you opened it up and whipped out your stuff?
Well, he was still denying the fact that he had broken into my grandmother's place.
He was still denying
What did he
it.
think? Your
Well,
grandmother left the safe to him in her will?
Well, actually, the safe was given to me from my dad, Merle Halford, who owned Halford Brothers at one time, and it's a one-of-a-kind safe. It's a Mosler, and Mosler Safe Company doesn't even have one of these safes in their museum. So once I laid eyes on it and it was described to me, I knew it was mine.
Well,
No doubt about it. So he's in the back of the police car, and I feel sorry for him, and I told the cop, I said, do I have to press charges? And he said no. So I was like going to let this guy go until I looked in the van and saw my grandmother's old pictures and books and an antique mirror, and needless to say, I was very upset at that time. And
out of curiosity, Jeff, why would you have not pressed charges up to that point?
well, I felt like he was so stupid.
Right.
I felt like, this whole thing was just one big joke because it was so funny. And
Right.
it was so unbelievable. I mean, I got my safe back, everything's in it, and it turned out really good.
So
He furnished his van with your grandmother's stuff.
They laid out, there was probably 400 items that he had stolen from my
400
grandmother's
in the
house.
van?
God.
Wow.
And we're out there for like 4 hours going through all of this stuff with the police.
Do they let
And-
you just take the stuff back right there, or do they have to hold it as evidence?
Well, the cops were so good, they took pictures of every item, made a list, and let us go home with all of this
That's
stuff.
great.
That's good.
Good story, Jeff.
Real good story.
All right, Jeff, the name of your company again is
It's high-tech lock and safe.
High Tech Lock and Safe in Cobb County.
Jeff and his little voice will open your safe for all your safe opening needs.
Yeah, just call and ask for the little voice. I
Hey,
think the little
locksmith.
voice, no offense, I think the little voice is smarter than Jeff.
Could
I
be.
think so.
Thanks,
That's
Jeff.
why I listen to it.
You're listening to the best of the Morning X. You can also catch it on the Morning X podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or at 99x.com.